What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Empirical Empires on what they teach you in high school. Hey, my name is Jay. Thanks so much for tuning back into another episode of Empirical Empires. Today, we are diving into a robust empire. But before we do, let's put some good karma out there in the world. For all 278 views that this video gets, if you have not subscribed to the channel, smash the sub button down below and leave a comment, share it with your friends, with your family, with your teachers, so that more people can learn about these epic empires. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Today, we're here to explore the grand narrative of Russia's imperial journey. From its Viking genesis to its revolutionary demise, we'll see how this vast empire navigated through the cycles of power, wealth, and influence, interacting with neighbors, shaping its culture, and wrestling with internal contradictions. Hey, it's a big one for the channel. Let's get into it. The story starts in 862 AD with Rurik, a Viking chieftain from Scandinavia who was invited by the Slavic tribes to govern them. This event, known as the Calling of the Varangians, is pivotal in Russian historiography. Rurik established his rule in Novgorod, laying the foundation for what would become known as the Kievan Rus, more a confederation of principalities than a single centralized state. The cultural impact was profound. The blend of Norse and Slavic elements created a unique cultural synthesis. Rurik's legacy, whether mythologized or factual, symbolized the beginning of Russian statehood, with his descendants ruling for centuries. His successor Oleg, his son, moved the capital to Kyiv, further consolidating the power of the Rurikids over the region now known as Ukraine, Belarus, and parts of Russia. In 988 AD, Prince Vladimir the Great adopted Christianity, choosing Orthodox Christianity over other religions after a famous test where he sent emissaries to observe different faiths. This conversion was not just a spiritual one, but a strategic choice, unifying the diverse principalities under one faith and aligning Russia with the Byzantine Empire, enhancing its cultural and political standing. And that's a classic move in imperialism, establishing a single religion which different ethnic groups, different people groups, different tribes can unify under is a perfect example of how an empire gathers steam. The baptism of the Rus in the Dnieper River is a foundational myth of Russian statehood, symbolizing the shift from paganism to Christian civilization. After Vladimir, the Kievan Rus fragmented into smaller principalities, weakened by Mongol invasions in the 13th century, notably the sacking of Kyiv in 1240. Yet this period also saw Moscow's rise under the principality of Vladimir Serfdom, laying the groundwork for Russia's resurgence. The Mongol yoke was cast off symbolically with the Battle of Kulikovo in 1380, led by Dmitry Donskoy, although full independence came later under Ivan III, or Ivan the Great, in the late 15th century. Ivan expanded Russian territory, married into Byzantine royalty, and adopted the title of Tsar, reflecting the classic imperial cycle of consolidation and expansion. This period exemplifies how empires often rise by centralizing power and leveraging cultural, political, and religious symbols for legitimacy, much like Rome's shift to an empire. Ivan III's marriage to Sophia Palaia-Logina, a Byzantine princess, say that 5 times fast, symbolically connected Russia to the legacy of Rome, illustrating how empires often borrow prestige and legitimacy from predecessors to bolster their own status. Russia's rise was in part due to its geopolitical maneuvers, including conflicts with Sweden, Poland, Lithuania, and the Ottomans, which shaped its border and its identity. And check out the Ottomans episode on the channel. The fur trade was a significant driver of early Russian expansion eastward. However, the introduction of serfdom created economic disparities that would haunt the empire. Brick by brick, folks, we build these empires up just to tear them down. Serfdom in Russia became entrenched under Ivan IV, also known as Ivan Grozny, or more commonly, Ivan the Terrible. And just as an aside, Grozny translates, in Google at least, to formidable, which makes you wonder who exactly thought he was so terrible. But some nicknames just work. Back to serfdom. In the late 16th century, under Alexis I, the law code of 1649 bound peasants to the land and made them property. This system provided a stable labor force for agriculture and supported the nobility, but it stifled economic growth, innovation, and mobility. And it's just super messed up to enslave a group of people to the land. Maybe Ivan was terrible after all. Politically, serfdom kept the peasantry out of power struggles, ensuring noble control over the state, but at the cost of widespread poverty and discontent. Meanwhile, the empire had gone from this, a small confederation of principalities under Rurik, to this, a vast empire under Ivan the Terrible. And we're just getting started, folks. The 18th and 19th centuries marked Russia's golden age, where wealth and cultural influence peaked. And mustaches. Man, I love historical mustaches. Peter the Great's reign in the early 18th century was transformative, marking the transformation of Russia from a Tsardom into the Russian Empire. And to seal the deal, Peter was called emperor. And with reforms in governance, military, and culture, a lot of beards got shaved off. Peter transformed his country from a medieval principality into a real empire. His victory in the Great Northern War against Sweden established Russia as a major European power. Peter's military reforms were monumental, introducing a modern army and navy. And with a mustache like that, and an epic blue sash, he must have really earned his title as Peter the Great. Some nicknames stick. One unique characteristic of the Russian Empire is from its founding in 1721, when it became a true empire, to the year 1800, the rulers of the empire flip-flopped between male emperor and female empress. In fact, empresses ruled the Russian Empire for 2/3 of the 18th century, which leads us to Catherine the Great. Catherine the Great, not to be confused with Peter the Great's successor, Catherine the First, Catherine the Great ruled from 1762 to 1796. She continued the empire's expansion. Catherine took Peter the Great's empire from this and turned it into this. And yet, serfdom's entrenchment within the empire highlighted the empire's internal contradictions. And we cannot miss the fact that Napoleon invaded. It's crazy to think that we've gone from Vladimir's baptism in the river in 988 to the Napoleonic Wars of the early 1800s. The defeat of Napoleon in 1812 wasn't just a military victory, but a testament to the strategic depth of Russia and a testament to how freaking cold it can get in Russia. It also demonstrates how empires leverage their vast territories or natural conditions for defense, and why empires believe that they need to expand. Russia's golden age also saw cultural peaks, with figures like Alexander Pushkin and the architectural grandeur of St. Petersburg showcasing Russia's attempt to be seen as a cultural equal to Western Europe. It's here! The Decembrist Revolution in 1825 was an early indicator of the unrest that would eventually topple the Tsarist regime, showing the desire for reform or revolution. Russia's involvement in various conflicts like the Crimean War added to its financial and military burdens. And listen, we've heard this one before. By the 20th century, the empire had been brought to its knees. The Russo-Japanese War from 1904 to 1905 was a humiliating defeat, signaling overstretch and exposing military weaknesses. a common sign of imperial overreach. World War I further strained the empire, and we hardly have time left to get into it, so we'll cut right to the chase. The 1917 revolutions. The February Revolution, triggered by food shortages, military losses in World War I, and autocratic frustration. This revolution saw massive protests in Petrograd. Soldiers mutinied, leading to Nicholas II's abdication on March 15, 1917, ending the Romanov dynasty and establishing the provisional government. Oh, you sweet provisional government, you are short-lived. The October Revolution, Lenin's Bolsheviks capitalized on the provisional government's failures. On November 7, 1917, they seized key locations in Petrograd in a near bloodless coup, marking the start of the communist rule with promises of peace, land, and bread. The final act of the Romanov dynasty was as brutal as it was symbolic of the empire's collapse. In July 1918, Tsar Nicholas II, his wife Alexandra, their 5 children, and a few loyal servants were executed in the basement of Ipatiev House in Yekaterinburg. The execution was ordered by the Bolsheviks, fearing the Romanovs could become a rallying point for counter-revolution. And hey, as always, that's what I've got for you guys today. From Rurik's time to the revolution that ended the Romanovs, Russia's history illustrates the classical imperial arc of growth, peak, and decline. It's a tale of cultural synthesis, strategic marriages, economic boom and bust, and the ultimate challenge of managing internal contradictions amidst external threats. Thank you as always for joining this historical journey. If you're captivated by these tales of power, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let us know which empire you'd like us to explore next on Empirical Empires. Once again, my name is Jay. This is what they teach you in high school. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.